Okay, let's just dive right in. We've all been there, right? You get that massive burst of inspiration. You make a promise to yourself, this time it's going to be different. We're going to build that new habit, hit that big goal, and finally become the person we know we can be. But, more often than not, that motivation just fades, and we're left right back where we started, feeling kind of frustrated.
Of course you do. I mean, it's a fundamental human drive, isn't it? This deep down desire to improve, to grow, to finally close that gap between who we are right now and who we know we could be. That pull is powerful, and honestly, it's probably why you're here listening to this. And the goals, man, they're often so clear, aren't they? You can practically feel the weight of that finished novel in your hands. You can imagine having all that energy from being in a strong, healthy body. Or you can just picture the connection you'd feel by putting the phone down and just being there with the people you love. These aren't just items on a to-do list. They're the life we're trying to build. And yeah, that's the frustrating part. You've set the goal, you've made the plan, you might have even had a really strong start. But then somewhere along the way, life happens and the old patterns just creep back in. It's a super common experience, and let's be real, it can be incredibly discouraging.
But what if the problem isn't you? What if it's not about your willpower or your motivation? What if the entire strategy, the whole way we've been taught to do this, is just flawed from the very beginning? Today, we're going to explore a pretty powerful idea that suggests we've been tackling self-improvement completely backward.
So let's start by breaking down what I think is the biggest hurdle for pretty much all of us. I like to call it the goal delusion. It's this laser focus on the finish line, on the outcome, while we completely ignore the foundation we need to actually get there. Okay, this slide gets to the absolute core of the problem. Most of us, we set the goal you see on the left, a performance goal. The focus is on the what. I want to lose 20 pounds. But as author James Clear explains, there's a much more powerful approach. It's an identity-based goal, and it focuses on the who. I want to become the type of person who moves every day. You see that shift? It's subtle, but it's everything. It's not about a result, it's about a role you're stepping into. And this quote just nails it. Your actions today are a mirror, a reflection of the person you believe you are right now. So if you believe you're not a morning person, well, hitting snooze is super easy. If you believe you're not a reader, picking up a book feels like a huge chore. Real, lasting change starts by changing that underlying belief about who you are. So, how do we do it? I mean, how do we actually change this core identity? Well, it turns out there's a really simple, layered model that shows us the way. And the secret is starting from the inside out. This model right here explains everything. Think of it like an onion with 3 layers. Most of us try to change from the outside in. We start with appearance, the results we want, like the number on the scale. But real, lasting change happens when you work from the very center, from your identity, and then move outwards. It all starts right here, at the core, your identity. This is basically the story you tell yourself about yourself. It's a simple statement. I am a writer, or I am a healthy person, or I'm the type of person who never misses a workout. This is the new belief we need to build, brick by brick. The next layer out is performance. These are the actions you take, the actual habits. And here's the key. These actions are not about getting a result. They are about proving your new identity to yourself. Every single workout isn't about burning calories. It's a vote cast for being a healthy person. And finally, we get to the outermost layer, appearance, the outcome. This is the result the world sees. The 10 pounds lost, the finished book, the calm attitude. The huge mistake we all make is starting here. But when you start with identity first, this outer layer, it just becomes an inevitable side effect of who you've become. Okay, so this idea of building a new identity by casting votes for it sounds great. But what do those votes actually look like in real life? How do we cast them consistently? Well, this is where a really powerful set of tools, grounded in mindfulness, comes into play. A lot of times, the desire for change comes from this specific feeling, a state that cognitive behavioral therapists call ennui. It's not just regular boredom, it's deeper. It's a sense of dissatisfaction, a feeling that things lack meaning. And honestly, it's the perfect fertile ground for planting the seeds of a new identity. And as you can see, we have a whole toolbox to work with here. Every single one of these is a practical way to cast a vote for the person you want to become. For instance, picking up a paintbrush isn't just about killing time, it's a vote for being a creative person. Reaching out to a friend isn't just a social call, it's a vote for being a connected person. And practicing mindfulness, even for just 1 minute, is a powerful vote for being a present-centered person. I love this quote from Thich Nhat Hanh because it just gets to the heart of it. Mindfulness can turn a totally boring, mundane action into a powerful affirmation. The simple act of washing the dishes, if you do it with your full attention, isn't a chore anymore. It's an act of mindfulness. It's a vote for the identity of someone who is engaged with their life. And get this isn't just some mental trick or a think positive kind of thing. When you consistently practice these new ways of thinking and acting, something really remarkable starts happening inside your skull. You are literally, physically rewiring your brain. It all comes down to this amazing concept called neuroplasticity. The big idea here is that your brain isn't fixed hardware. It's more like software that's constantly being updated by your thoughts and your actions. Research in a field called mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, or MBCT, actually shows that when you practice mindfulness, you are strengthening the neural connections, the actual wiring, in the parts of your brain that are responsible for focus and staying calm. This table breaks it down so perfectly. See, when you practice meditation, your prefrontal cortex, which is kind of like the CEO of your brain, it gets stronger, and your focus improves. When you work on emotional regulation, your amygdala, the brain's little alarm system, it calms down, making you way less reactive to stress. Just think about that for a second. Every small action isn't just a vote for a new you, it's an instruction to physically build the brain of the person you want to become. Oh, right. So let's bring this all together. We've got the theory, we've got the tools, and we've got the science. Now it's time for the most important part, taking that first, tiny, ridiculously small step. I really want you to let this idea sink in. This is probably the most powerful mindset shift you can make. Eating a healthy meal? That's a vote for being a healthy person. Writing one sentence? That's a vote for being a writer. Meditating for 60 seconds? That's a vote for being a mindful person. You don't need to win the entire election overnight. You just need to cast one vote. Today. So here's your plan. You can do this right after this is over. First, pick that goal. Second, define the identity in just one sentence. Who is the person who achieves that goal? And third, list 5 incredibly small actions, 5 tiny votes that would prove that identity to yourself. Remember, the goal isn't results at first. It's just to become the type of person who shows up. It will end with this awesome challenge from the psychologist Rick Hansen. This is the perfect example of a small vote. It's not about becoming a meditation master. It's about becoming the type of person who meditates, even if it's just for 1 minute. So the question I'll leave you with is this. What's the first vote you're going to cast for the new you?